And one time also the Prophet ﷺ, he was sitting with the companions, and there was a woman, and she lost her child. And she was panicking as a result of that. And then when she found the child, she carried him, and she started suckling him. And the Prophet ﷺ said to the companions, radiallahu anhum, do you think this woman would throw her child into the fire? They said, of course not. And then the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has more mercy towards you than this woman towards her own child, because He is the most merciful subhanahu wa ta'ala. But people misunderstand it. Why? They think, well, if this is the case, why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punish the disbelievers in the Day of Judgment, or the sinners, if this is the case? To answer this is that the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those who subject themselves to the mercy of Allah, and He is the most just. And justice has to be served because He is the most just subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the early scholars, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, he gave an example. And he said one of the early generations of Islam, he was walking in the street and he saw a door opened and a mother yelling at her child, and she kicked him out of the house and she slammed the door behind him.
Yeah.
And this child, young boy, looked left and right, walked for a little bit. He doesn't have any place else to go. So he returned back and he knocked on the door. His mother is angry, like any other mother will get angry with her child, but the heart still have that mercy towards that child. And then when she did not open the door, he put his cheeks on the ground, on the doormat, and he slept. After a while, the love in the heart of the mother comes in place again. She opens the door trying to look for her child, and she see the child in such a place. So she carried him, and she went down to him, and she kept telling him, why do you make me punish you? Why do you make me do this and do that when I love you, when I care about you, when I have so much mercy to you? This one man of the early generations of Islam, he said, when I saw this, I remembered the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. So it is the human being themselves, they are the ones that commit injustice to themselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful. Called them to His mercy. Called them to worship Him alone. And made everything easy for them to see that everything speaks for itself, that it's a sign of the mercy of Allah, that it's all creation, that it's all shows the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for them to turn to Him alone. But instead they choose to disobey Him and to worship other than Him.